Hey guys, UrbanGear here. I'm just going to show you a video about 3 pros and 3 cons to buying and owning a Ural that I hope you all appreciate. I've gotten numerous requests to show my bike history and what it's like to own a Ural, so I like to bring that to you guys. I think it's really important for potential buyers to know all these things. And don't forget to leave a like and a comment about any questions you may have or any future video requests, and I really appreciate you guys watching. So I think the #1 pro is pretty obvious. It's awesome. I mean, the paint, they've really improved over recent years. It's very smooth to touch. It's easy to clean. I don't really have any issues. I have one chip, I think. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have one chip in the paint. The touch-up paint that they gave me doesn't quite match, unfortunately. But other than that, really great paint. Looks awesome overall. I mean, not many people you see riding around on a Sidecar, so that's always something unique and something that really drew me to the bike. I really get compliments of it on it anywhere, and you know when you're gonna buy a Ural, you actually read something about the Ural delay factor. They put that in their brochures, and it's a selling point really, and it's really talking about the delay that you're gonna have everywhere you go with the bike, for people stopping you to ask questions or to give you compliments or whatever they may want to ask. And at first it was a little strange because I never really had a vehicle like that, but the more you own it, the more you kind of crave that and you like the attention, because you made a really good choice when purchasing a motorcycle. There's a lot of great bikes out there. I came from sport bike riding and dirt bike riding, and I can honestly say that this is by far the most fun out of any motorcycle I've ever ridden. So, and that's saying something, considering it's only 750cc, air-cooled, 41 horsepower, fuel injected, but it's not this. I mean, it's not the fastest thing ever, but you don't need to go fast to be cool and to have a really great time. So I would say that's the #1 pro to owning a Ural, but that might not be enough for you guys. I mean, a lot of people buy these for utility, and that's really actually one of the reasons I bought it. So next up, I'll show you a little bit of the utility on this bike. And here's some of the utility. So fit my helmet in here, I can put my jacket in here. If you guys can see at the very bottom, there is a full toolkit that comes with the Ural, and it's pretty extensive. I mean, you can honestly do everything you want to do on the bike with this bag. I mean, I bought a shim kit and stuff for the valves, but other than that, I mean, you can change a tire, you can change the oil. I mean, anything you can think of, you can do with that toolkit. So I really do like that they included that. But maybe you guys are thinking, okay, well, I don't want my stuff bouncing around in here. What if I'm just getting like a 6-pack of beer or something to take home? Well, it's actually surprisingly good, because there's a rubber bottom, and stuff really doesn't move around as much as you'd think. And if you have little, small things, valuables, whatever, boom, there's a pouch right there. I have some brochures and stuff in there already, but there is a pouch that can carry some of the stuff that you'll need. This is the gear up model, so it comes with a shovel. 2-wheel drive, of course, which I'll show you guys in a second. The fuel canister, it says not for gasoline and drinking water. I just take that as don't mix them. I have put gasoline in there before. I filled it up to the very top. Didn't really have any issues with it. I mean, it didn't expand too much and explode or anything like you'd expect. As long as you fill it up to the very, very top, you'll be fine. Just make sure you bring a funnel with you, because it'll spill everywhere, especially in the small part of the bike that you fill it up in. So that's some utility on that. The gear up also comes with this tonneau cover and a cover for the seat. They do fade, unfortunately, as you guys can see. It's not black. Like, look at that black compared to that. That's quite a bit of fade. A little disappointing, but what I might do is just end up buying the leather tan ones. Those look actually pretty nice too, so I might do that. Another thing that I love in terms of the utility is a kick-ass spotlight, which, as you guys can see, pretty awesome. You can move it around and stuff. This actually came, a lot of help when riding at night. The main headlight's decent, but the spotlight actually opens up the road quite a bit to you, especially if you plan on doing a lot of night riding, a lot of trail riding. That's something that's nice. I also like on the gear up model, the bumper for the Sidecar and the fender. I haven't hit anything with it yet, but it's always nice to know if I do screw up and hit a curb or bump into something, because the Sidecar's over here, and I do tend to forget about that. It's protected, so that is nice to know. That's a lot of the utility on it. Oh, I'll show you guys the 2-wheel drive. So as you can see, oh shit, two-wheel drive, which is pretty sweet. And I put stickers on there, so don't pay attention to that though. But there is a drive shaft, you guys can see. It connects right chill, and it's just one lever. You have to do it while you're moving. While you're stopped, it's kind of impossible. So I moved like 3 to 4 miles an hour, kind of wiggle the front wheel a little bit so the both back wheels are moving at the same speed. Clicks in like butter, no problem, works great. And that's something that's really nice. Sorry, I burped. That's a lot of the utility on it. I'll show you the third pro to owning the Gear Up here in just a second. The third pro you guys might be kind of skeptical about, but I like it because I like to work on my own bikes. And this is a very accessible, very easy bike to work on. Yes, I know a lot of you guys are like, no, I want carbureted model. I want to work on everything by myself, but I have had zero issues with the fuel injection. Once they uploaded the new map when I first bought the bike, it's run great. It's been fine. I've done the valve adjustments myself. I've done all the maintenance myself, even changing the tires and stuff, which I have not had to do yet, but I have practiced taking off the rear wheel. It's a little tedious, but really doable. I mean, you can see everything. There's no coolant to drain. It's just fluids, so oil, gear oil in the back, and transfer case oil or transmission oil. So that's actually all really easy to do. The brakes are also easy to replace just because everything's so accessible on the bikes. I mean, so what if you have to pop a wheel off? It's really easy to do it. And I mean, even though the maintenance intervals are pretty short compared to most modern bikes, like, your Honda Goldwings or Harleys, or even the Honda sport bikes or Yamaha sport bikes, and you can go 5,000-7,000 miles really without maintenance, giving them a lot of maintenance. On this one, I'd recommend probably every 1,500 kilometers, around 1,000 miles, I'd probably do a fluid change on it and just give it a checkup on the overall. I would say those are the biggest pros to owning the Ural. I'm sure there's a lot more that you guys might be able to think of, but really those are the three that drew me to the bike. And the utility part of it is obviously great because you can take a passenger with you. You can go off-road with the two-wheel drive. You can go camping because there's plenty of room. You can go grocery shopping. You can do everything you want to do year-round, really. I mean, all the guys on sport bikes or two-wheel drive bikes in general, two-wheeled bikes in general, are going to worry about ice and snow and gravel going around corners. You never have to worry about that, which is really nice. But that's not to say that there are a few downsides, which I'm going to show you here in a second, and have a little bit of a good time with it. So I would say one con is obvious. There is a sidecar on the bike, and that can be viewed as a pro or a con. Overall, I mean, even though you can fit someone on the bike and it looks really cool, it can be a con because if you don't have anyone in there or any ballast or anything and you're going around corners, it'll lift with like 10 miles an hour. So right turns are pretty sketchy. Left turns are awesome. You can ball it at like 35, 40 miles an hour and it'll grip around the left turns. But right turns are sketchy. Sidecar, and I don't know if you guys know how much this thing weighs, but it's about 700 pounds dry. So pretty heavy bike for such a small motor. In comparison, in terms of small power at least. So it's slow, and it has a sidecar on it, so it's a little bit hard to handle. All right, next con. I hope you guys can see this. Really skinny tires. So, what's up, Knox? How you doing? Really skinny tires. I mean, they're a little bit wider than mountain bike tires, as you guys can see here. That makes for one pretty quick tread wear. I mean, the tread's not too soft, so it's not like a sport bike compound, so it won't wear too quickly, but I'm already going to have to change my rear tire here, and I've only put about 3,100 kilometers on it, which isn't really that much, especially without any or much off-road riding. Gonna have to replace it. That being said, the sidecar tire and my front tire are actually still in pretty good condition, but they're just so skinny that it doesn't... I like the fat tire look. It doesn't have that. I do get it because it is retro and it's supposed to look like that, but that's something that can be a little sketchy, especially in terms of grip. If you get in a pretty, deep snowbank or mud, that's going to matter because you're going to sink right to the bottom of it, and sometimes you want to float on top. So that's kind of an issue as well. The biggest con, number 3 by far, is the gearbox. it's a nightmare, to tell you the least. I mean, that is the one thing I'd truly change about the bike. You're finding false neutrals all the time, unless you really hack it up and hack it down. I mean, you really have to put your foot into it to really find the gear. It's not as bad as I'm really making it out to be. I just want you guys to be aware that the gearbox is a problem. Now, they're slated to fix that in 2017, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, to make a little bit smoother clutch, because it does, I mean, the engagement's not bad. The clutch engagement's actually pretty easy, but the whole, grinding and clicking of gears just really irritates me. And not only that, but the gears are so far apart that you could be revving up to, close to the red line in second gear, shift into third, and it just lugs bad. So that's kind of a problem as well. So what I've found, I've had to just rev it out on before every single gear change in order to get any sort of momentum going. On the freeway as well, I mean, that top gear that you have is really all but useless, I would say. I mean, if you have a passenger in any gear, you're never going to use that, or uphill. I mean, I'm going to be in fourth gear for that. So, kind of lugging it uphill, even third gear sometimes, trying to get some momentum and keep your horsepower up. So those are the three biggest pros and cons to owning a Ural. I would say in terms of performance, I wanted to give you guys a good overview of the performance of it and kind of what you can expect. But, overall, it's an awesome bike, and I'll do a little bit of a recap here before I say bye to you guys. One thing I do want to tell you before I leave is that I am sorry about not posting more videos as of late, and especially with me riding. I want to be able to do one with an internal mic. I am getting one soon, but I need to upgrade the software on my computer, even my hardware on my computer. So a little bit light on. Sorry if you guys can hear that squeaking. That's my dog annoying. I need to upgrade a lot of things, but I still wanted to make some sort of video because I have gotten a lot of questions about what's like to own a Ural, what my bike history has been, are there any tips to give, and the biggest tip I can give is if you're thinking about buying a Ural, buy it. Don't think twice about it. I know I said some negative things about it, but what bike doesn't have 3, 4, 5 cons right before you're going to buy it? It is a little bit pricey if you guys want to go with the CT. I think it's like $3,000 less than the Ural. It's only one-wheel drive, but it's still a great bike. And if you're not going to go off-road with it, just tool around town, take groceries, use it as your daily. Great bike. Lighter too, so it is faster. That's the biggest thing I would say. Just go out and get one and join the community, and we'd love to have it. So don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.